Well, hello, everybody. This is Dr. Osborne. Happy Thursday to you. It's another great day. And just so you know, it's only going to be what you make of it. So I just want to welcome you to just a little thoughts here today. A lot of times we get caught up in the things of this world, and I just want to remind you who you are. So today I'm going to invite you to just go on a little trip with me and just to be reminded who you are. So as we get started, sometimes we see something and we see something and it just completely amazes us. Let me see if I can get this right here. There we go. And I think sometimes I ask myself the question is, when was the last time you actually experienced something that was so marvelous that your hair stood on end, and then you just got goosebumps, and you may not have had a name for that feeling, but you were likely experiencing what psychologists call awe. It's the feeling of awe that comes when we feel overwhelmed by greatness, or we see something powerful and something unbelievable like we've never seen before or experienced in that way. We see something that's magical that we can't even comprehend. And so think of something like you were overwhelmed, like a beautiful sunset, when you were held frozen by a beautiful, absolutely wonderful piece of music, or you stood in amazement as you held your child for the first time, or watched the space shuttle. Do you remember doing that, taking off to the heavens for the first time? See, that feeling of awe is an experience of such perceptual vastness that you literally have to change your model of the world to even understand it. Imagine the people who first gazed up in the night sky and they noticed the Milky Way. It must have been an awe-inspiring moment that helped them develop the belief system that there had to be something out there, something more powerful than themselves. And then you see the human body, the body that you live in. It's more magnificent than you have ever imagined. It's not weak. It's not fragile. And by the end of today, I hope you stand in awe at how brilliant and powerful that you really are, because my aspiration is that you would finally realize the mind-blowing possibility that not only were you given this life, but you are strong enough to live it. You might be facing health challenges right now. You might be facing fear right now. You might be worried about things in your outside environment that you feel like you have no control of, but I want you to know that you're more brilliant and you're more powerful than you know. And I hope today is the day that you discover it. I want you to change your body. If you want to change your body, you're going to have to change your mind about your body first. And so by changing your mind, you're going to change absolutely everything. And when you become in awe of your potential, you're going to be taking the very first steps towards realizing and actualizing it. Has anybody ever told you that you were a star? That you are a star? And so in order for us to be carbon-based life forms, humans need critical elements of carbon, and those are only found in stars. You're about $160 worth of stardust. When we take all the things that make you up, all the base components, and if we were to go buy them in the store, if that store was open now, you'd be $160 worth of stardust. But when a star goes supernova, human bodies were intelligent enough. They were intelligent enough to fine-tune this star powder and to create their physical fabric along with all the processes necessary to live and absolutely continue to shine like a star in this world. The eyes are watching as small body parts are made up of dust that came from the stars. We see illuminating the heavens. And in fact, inside of you are 75 trillion cells, which actually vastly outnumber the 400 billion stars in the Milky Way galaxy surrounding you. Are you in awe yet? And you're brilliant. See, your cells are dying and they're being replaced every day. During the time that we've spoken, there's about 25 million cells have died. But don't worry, because today you're going to make about 300 billion more cells. And this happens so often that every 7 to 10 years you have a brand new, completely new body. Why? Because you're a healer. Because when you cut your finger, have you ever wondered how it heals? Is it the Neosporin that heals it? Well, surely the Band-Aid is what keeps that big, bad world from infecting that cut, allowing it to heal, right? No, it's your own inner brilliance. None of those things aid the healing process in any way. Not to get too scientific, but your body's own intelligence directs the healing in 4 phases. You have what's called homeostasis, inflammation, proliferation, and remodeling. The brilliance during this homeostasis, the blood vessels constrict and the platelets accumulate to form a clot at the site of an injury, and it ends up forming a scab when the clotted blood dehydrates. Next stage is an inflammation, which follows as histamine causes the blood vessels to secrete white blood cells at the site of infection to fight off any foreign bacteria that might cause infection. Proliferation is the next phase, and it can take anywhere from several days to several weeks. And this is when the tissue, in case skin tissue, begins repairing itself as directed by your innate intelligence, the intelligence that's inside of you, and remodeling is last. And it can sometimes take years. New collagen replaces old collagen, and the site of the injury contracts. It forms scar tissue, which is not visible in minor cases. I bet you didn't even know anything about this. You may not even know some of the words in the healing process, but that means your body's so smart that it can happen anyway. And not only can you heal a cut, but your body can heal itself continuously. Every 10 to 27 days, all your skin cells die and are replaced, and all your organs cells are constantly replicating themselves. And every few years, we have completely new skin, heart, lungs, stomach, intestines, bones. And what's even more amazing about this healing process is your body doesn't ever remake something or someone else. It knows how to keep making you, because you're brilliant and powerful. So if you want to know if this is true, take your right hand over your heart, put it on your left chest. Do you feel your heart beating? And that means that you're made up of stardust with more parts than the stars in our galaxy. That means you're intelligent. The heartbeat you feel will occur 70 times per minute, 100,000 times per day, and over 3 billion times throughout your lifetime. Every minute, it's going to pump 1.5 gallons of blood, and eventually it'll pump enough blood to fill 100 Olympic-sized swimming pools. The heart is a miracle of performance, and through a complex nervous and hormonal feedback regulation system, your circulatory system maintains the exact correct rate and output to supply the correct amount of blood for both the marathoner and, if you're watching this on the couch potato right now. Now take your left hand and place it on top of your head. Go ahead, do it. Just put your right on top of there. Your fingers are within 1 centimeter from the most complex, amazing piece of matter in the universe. You can put your hand down, but just remember that inside of our brain, we have 86 billion neurons, and each of these neurons is connected to another by about 10,000 synaptic connections. These neurons signal each other with little electrical blips about 1/10 of a volt and 0.001 seconds long. Every thought, every dream, every feeling, every sensation and function we have ever had is represented in these blips. And from the words being read right now, the words being spoken right now, the words that you hear right now, the memory of your mother's hug, the beat of our hearts, and the healing of cancer cells, these are all electric blips. And when scientists attempt to replicate the brilliance of the brain, the best that they've been able to do is use 82,944 computer processors over 40 minutes just to simulate what your brilliant and powerful brain can do in 1 second. My question to you is, are you in awe yet? Our nervous system is also as marvelous as it is complex. It has the ability to communicate the feeling of pain resulting from intense pressure, yet adapts perfectly to the pressure of sitting and driving a car. A nervous system like yours controls every cell, tissue, organ, function, and healing in your body, while at the same time precisely regulating the muscles of the concert pianist playing Chopin, the baseball slugger making contact with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, and the gymnast performing 2.5 somersault twists and sticking the landing. And so from the moment of your birth, you are up against universally destructive forces. Nonetheless, your body is so powerful that it put these forces don't even stand a chance. Let me help you consider some of the destructive forces that you have battling you right now. Cancer, it's a scary diagnosis, and that dramatically impacts many people's life. It develops when abnormal cells begin to divide uncontrollably and invade various tissues in your body. However, did you know that in a lifetime, every single gene is more likely to have undergone approximately 1,010 times mutations? 10 to the 10th mutations, and that means that's 10 with 9 zeros behind it, mutations. That your body contains about 20,000 genes. The total number of genes and mutations that you'll face over your lifetime is about 20 to the 14th, which means that's 200 with 12 zeros behind it. You are brilliant and powerful. And so the question is, why doesn't everybody have cancer? With all these mutations that happen over our lifetime, well, let's take a look at germs. Germs have the ability to cause major health issues, right? We're all concerned about germs. We're wiping our hands all the time. And as a result, people are generally become germophobic, especially in times like these, believing that when they come in contact with a germ, they're going to get a disease. What most people don't know, however, is that we're outnumbered by germs. You're surrounded all the times by all these tiny organisms, and you are always covered with them, whether you believe it or not. For instance, if someone sneezes on you, there's about 100,000 germs traveling at 100 miles an hour. In addition, at any given moment, your hands will soon contain about 50,000 germs. Random testing has demonstrated that there are more germs on the ice at a restaurant sometimes than there is in a toilet. So there's an old story about a lottery winner. He wins a new Mercedes that was held out in the western town that had not been kept up. It really hadn't kept up with times. Although the automobile had been used for decades in this western town, they still had rode horses, and they had buggies, and they had stagecoaches. And the cowboy who won the lottery came riding into town on his Mercedes, which was rather like, but it wasn't turned on. It was being pulled by a horse. Many of us are like cowboys pulling a car with a horse. We have a top-of-the-line Mercedes that can do over 500 horses working under the hood. All you have to do is turn the power on. And because there's so much power in your body that's available to us, your body contains the most formidable defense system, effective filtration mechanisms, reliable regenerative healing procedures in the world. We just need to put the keys in the ignition and turn the power on. So I just want to thank all of you to be here today and just to be able to spend some time with me. You know, I think that sometimes we have a tendency to forget who we are, whose we are, and what we were created to be. Look, you are stardust. Do not forget that. You are intelligent stardust that's come together to make something grand. And please don't let your fear of the world that we live in overpower the creator of that created you. Make it a great day, guys, and look forward to talking to you tomorrow. Take care.